Hey there, and welcome to HisTime365. I'm so glad you're here for day 36 of our 365-day journey through the Bible. Today, we'll look at Leviticus 25 to 27, and I'll walk you through what happens, what it means, and why it matters. I'll share a summary and some insights to help you see the big picture and connect with the heart of the Scripture. During your quiet time, I encourage you to read today's lesson in a Bible translation that speaks to you best. Now grab a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and let's spend a few minutes giving God His time. The Jubilee and God's Promises, understanding Leviticus 25 to 27. Imagine a world where every 50 years, everything gets a fresh start. A clean slate where families can reclaim their land, debts are forgiven, and everyone gets a chance to breathe again. This is the essence of what we find in Leviticus chapters 25 to 27, a beautiful glimpse into God's heart for justice, restoration, and community. As we dive into these chapters, God gives Moses some important instructions for the Israelites regarding land, property, and the significance of the Jubilee year. The concept of the Jubilee is profound. Every 50 years, it was a time when all land that had been sold or lost was returned to its original owner, and debts were forgiven. This was not just a practical economic system, it was a divine reset designed to ensure that no family would be permanently impoverished and that everyone could thrive within God's generous provision. In Leviticus 25:10, we read about this year of Jubilee. Proclaim liberty throughout all the land. This was a powerful declaration of freedom, a moment when the Israelites could celebrate restoration and renewal. Imagine the joy of families returning home, of communities coming together to rejoice in second chances. It's a reminder of how God desires us to live in harmony, free from the burdens of financial strain and the weight of past mistakes. Next, God outlines the importance of the sabbatical year, where every seventh year the land was to rest. This was a time for farmers to let the fields lie fallow, allowing the earth to rejuvenate. It teaches us a valuable lesson about rest and balance in our own lives. Just as the land needs a break to produce fruit, we too need time to recharge. In our modern world, this might translate into taking regular breaks from work to avoid burnout, or setting aside time for family, hobbies, or simply to relax. Additionally, God emphasizes the need for fairness and compassion in economic transactions. He instructs His people not to exploit one another, but to treat each other with kindness and integrity. Thou shalt not oppress one another. Leviticus 25:17. This principle can be applied in our daily lives, especially in how we handle money and relationships. For example, when negotiating a salary, it's essential to ensure fairness, or in business, to maintain ethical practices that uplift everyone involved. As we move to the latter chapters, God also speaks about the consequences of disobedience and the blessings of obedience. He reminds the Israelites that if they follow His commands, they will experience prosperity and peace. However, if they stray from His ways, they will face challenges. This truth remains relevant today. Our choices can lead us to joy or hardship. For example, prioritizing mental health through prayer and community support can lead to a more fulfilling life, while neglecting these aspects may result in stress and anxiety. In chapter 27, God provides regulations concerning vows and dedications. When a person makes a vow, they must fulfill it, reflecting the importance of commitment and integrity. In our own lives, this could look like keeping our promises to family and friends, whether it's showing up for a loved one in need or following through on commitments at work or in our communities. Honoring our word builds trust and strengthens relationships.
Through all these guidelines, Leviticus 25:27 invites us into a rhythm of life that values rest, renewal, and relationships. It's about creating a community where everyone thrives and is treated with dignity and respect. When we embrace these principles, we align ourselves with God's heart, fostering an environment of love and support for one another. Embrace God's rhythm of rest, renewal, and relationships for a thriving life. How can we incorporate the idea of Jubilee into our lives today? In what ways can we ensure we treat others fairly in our financial dealings? How do you find balance between work and rest in your life? What commitments have you made that you need to follow through on? How can a community support one another in times of need?
Thanks so much for joining me today for HisTime365. Remember, today's reading is Leviticus 25-27, so be sure to spend some time with those verses during your quiet time. Tomorrow, we'll be diving into Numbers 1-4, so feel free to read ahead if you'd like to prepare. If you enjoyed this time together, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so that you never miss a day on this journey. I'll see you back right here tomorrow for day 37. Until then, stay encouraged and thank you for giving God His time today.